Good morning, guys. There was the morning bell. Let's go. It's going to be a fun Tuesday out here in the stock market. Of course, NVIDIA reports tomorrow. I really can't wait for that one in after hours. But so far today, nothing too crazy. This morning, we did see XPEV report earnings, and they're actually not doing too bad. LOW also reported, again, not too bad, but not the greatest ever. Looking at Zoom from their report, they are actually pretty rough here this morning, down into the red a little bit, so that's not good. But at the end of the day, you know, NVIDIA's report tomorrow is going to really be the big thing that wakes the market up this week, I think. A lot of traders right now are sleeping. They're all like, hey, you know, I want to really get ready for that bigger event later in the week, and I don't blame them. Hopefully there's not too much volatility heading into that event. And when I say volatility, I wouldn't mind if, like, the SPY just fell off the table and implied volatility went up. I would love that. I don't want to see a bunch of chop. You know, I don't want to see, like, the SPY run down and then run right back up to 530 and run back down to 528 and just, like, chop around like that. I don't want to see that today. I want to see a solid either just breakdown or just good recovery back towards the highs, one or the other. Of course, that's the preference every day, but I feel like right now, coming off that double top yesterday, it might just chop around. I don't want to see that. I want to see a solid direction. Jeriel Shazammed it. That's funny. NVIDIA decided to jump off a cliff. What? Yeah, they did. You're right. I was looking at them in pre-market when I first woke up, and they were not even close to this bad. So, wow. That is a pretty bad jump there. Jump down. As we say, descent. One time in one of the nightly videos, I think I said something was ascending to the downside. I don't know how that works, but it was working. It was ascending down. No. Descending. Goodbye in NVIDIA, Dennis said. I would not do that right now. Not with earnings tomorrow. You might be able to get in and out of a quick play today, but I don't think that that's really an opportunity. I would look more for tomorrow at this point. Looking at 932 support on NVIDIA. So not too bad. Not too bad at all. Of course, tomorrow we will have the poll out for NVIDIA's earnings. For today, we're going to have a nice poll with the S&P 500 or the SPY. Will SPY break that double top around 531.50 this week? That's the question. All right, here we go. Vote it up. There's only two answers because there's really only two ways it can go. It's either going to break it or it's not. So I'm curious which one you guys are looking at. Yes, it will, or nope. Continued rejection / chop. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Tank Daddy knows it. Hit that like. Music's fire today. I like it, guys. I like it. Yeah, I was sitting here listening to some of it in a few minutes before we started. It was pretty fire. Meta and Tesla are flying, Tim said. Tesla. TSLA. That is a great move. Of course, they're inversing the market, right? As the SPY falls off, Tesla moves higher. Pretty weird to say there, ain't it? Meta flying as well. Now, they don't necessarily inverse the market as much, but they actually have a really strong correlation to SPY. Like, way stronger than Apple's even, which is weird. Sean says, nope. 53% to 47%. This is so far a very close poll. Make sure you get your vote in. 19 votes, and it is, like, tied. Zoom trying to zoom, DJ said. It better. Damn Zoom. Those earnings are whack. That's why I cut most of the play. Holy shit. Right now on the 65 calls for July, there's like a 50-cent or $50 spread on these options. It's like a 50-cent spread, but some people might think of that as $50. It's like 2.82 and 3.45 on the spread. There we go, though, Zoom. There we go. Breaking back up. Let's go. Hell yeah. You're right. Zoom is zooming. That's awesome. Good job, Zoom. I don't know how it ended up doing this, but we'll take it. Not a lot of volume on that chain. 13 volume on that 65 Nothing crazy yet. Still now it's a 54-cent spread. Terrible. Nice, Tangy said. I have a feeling for a pump and dump today. Which stock are you talking about? Are you looking at the SPY? Make sure you cast those votes, get those likes in here. Let's go. SPY's right around a pretty crucial support from yesterday. You guys can see those bounces. Even the past couple days, this is a pretty big level that the SPY has decided to get to. Yesterday showed a really good bounce right here. I'm not saying it's going to bounce back up all the way, but pretty decent move. Caught LLY for a sweet little $300 profit, Savage said. Nice. LLY, how are they doing today? Very good, very good. That is one hell of a chart. Looking at the watch list today. They aren't even on my watch list. That's one of the ones that got taken off, I swear. That happens sometimes on here. I wish I could lock it. And unlock it. Maybe I can. No. Peloton fell 14% last night. What the hell happened to that one? Savage says Hims will be the next LLY. Those are pretty funny, aren't they, guys? What's up with all the weight loss drugs? I'm not saying that they're not bad, but they don't seem great. That's for sure. Definitely don't seem great. People need something cheap to migrate to. I feel that. Yeah. There are some traders out there that will only trade the cheaper ones. Let's see, Hims. Or do you mean on the weight loss drugs? Probably both. The stock's fairly cheap, too. This has been one hell of a ripper, though. It's been a hard one to contend with. How's CGC here? 5-minute chart starting to come back up pretty well. Savage, you're a savage, man. Hello, Donkey Ton. I feel that. Like donkey horse. I really like that scene from Tokyo Drift where he's like, man, you know what DK means? And he goes, Donkey Kong. That was one of the funniest scenes. Tokyo Drift was low-key the goated best one. Boeing selling down to support right off of 183.50. It's a pretty big spot. A lot of bounces there the past few days. Right to support. Damn you, Boeing. Going back to the watch list at the top, we have XPEV now up 20% with their earnings. Sheesh, they really had a nice pop at open. Since opening, they've pretty much ran up like 14% on the continuation. Let's go XPEV. I bet Neo's looking pretty hot too off that. Hey, not bad, Neo. Not bad. It's not great. Hims weight loss drugs are not FDA approved, nor is it their own IP. Internal approval or... Man, Stuart, that's... It's not even FDA approved, really? Wow. Xbox saw it in theaters. Nice, I did too. Xbox says, people always want an easy answer to the issue. Especially Americans. Yeah, I feel you there. Hey, why would I go run if I could just take Ozempic? You know, why would I go run if I could just drop the Ozempic coming in, you know? Let's go see QQQ. 453. And I'm just kidding, by the way, guys. I actually go to the gym all the night, like 4 times a week. 3 to 4 times a week. Intellectual property. Ah, I see. Okay, okay. I almost thought that was a special word for like internal investigation or something, or... That's why I'm an NVO for the long term. Seriously, I think NVO, it's pretty crazy. It's like worth more than the... If this is the right stock that I'm thinking of, it's worth more than the country that it resides in. Which is pretty funny. The company is worth more than the whole country's GDP, I think. Sean likes Big Macs. I'll send you a shot of Ozempic to your house, Sean, for all the Big Macs. Tom has the reverse. His way is ascending down. Yeah, like, why can't they make me a weight gaining one, Steven? I would take that in a heartbeat if Ozempic would make a weight gainer shot. Why can't people do that? Watch them, they'll make like a fat shot and it just like adds a whole bunch of fat all over the place. Someone's gonna come in and go, they do, Tom, it's called steroids. I also like a good burger. You guys, how's Mickey D's doing? I actually ate some Mickey D's yesterday. Ooh, I gotta turn this song down. This one's loud. Alright, alright. That one was way louder than the other ones. HGH. Yeah, that would probably be a good one. I didn't think of that right away. Whenever I think of steroids, I just think of HGH. Boeing still on that support. Looking at SPY, it started bouncing off support, coming back to the middle of the range. It's a little bit of resistance here. I really like 529.90 to 530 as resistance. That's pretty solid. Make sure to cast your votes in the poll. We got 31 total votes here. Yes, it will is winning, but it's actually pretty close. If you think it'll keep rejecting this week, vote it up. 58% to 42%. One of the closest polls that we've had in a while. Normally it's swinging one way or the other pretty strongly, like 70 to 30 or something. Of course, tomorrow we will have the Nvidia poll coming, so that'll be a big one. And their earnings are tomorrow night. Let me know in the chat how you guys feel about those earnings tomorrow. What are you looking for with them? Let me see if I can get the Nvidia article up here. Here we go. This is a pretty cool article I found for one of the nightly videos. They're looking at some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen here. Nvidia stock surged 740%. That is just nuts. That is insane. Whenever you scroll down and you start to look at the bullish ratings on this stock, it's nuts. It's pretty insane. A lot of buy ratings, and the forecast overall is really crazy. So let's hear this, guys. You guys will like this. The consensus forecast calls for Nvidia to increase sales by 251% to $22.9 billion and earnings by 425% to $5.15 per share. Now, HSBC analyst Lee expects Nvidia to end with $28 billion in revenue, which would be a hell of a lot more than 251%. So they expect sales to rise by 71.3% on the full fiscal year and earnings by 78%. It's pretty nuts. That is pretty insane, guys. Like, some of these estimates are just nuts here. The mean 12-month target price for Nvidia stock is $986.01. And it really wasn't too far off of that on this recent little high it's been at. Hey, Finn. Thank you, Finn. I appreciate you. Thank you so much there. Appreciate that. Let's go. God bless. Hey, let's go. God bless you too. Thanks for being on the stream this morning, and thanks for joining up. Thanks for the questions. Appreciate that. It's a mixed shot. Tangy will donate me 30 pounds to the cause. I would take it, Tangy. If you gave me that, I bet I'd lose that 30 pounds in like a month. Have you ever looked into SARMs? I have, actually, Steven. I had a buddy that was in the Marine Corps. Or, you know, I don't even want to say that. I don't want him to get in trouble. Well, I guess at this point it's too late. I had a buddy that was in the Marine Corps, and he pretty much said that SARMs was a pretty big deal. They all did it, he said. But to be fair, he was a legit, like, Marine scout sniper or whatever, so I don't know if that played a difference or not, but actually, no, he wasn't a sniper. I don't want him to get in trouble. No, he was, though. It was pretty sick, some of the stuff that he would send and all that. He probably don't care. Thanks again, though, Finn. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Palantir selling off this morning. Not what you want to see. How's Zoom? Are they still sticking around? Nope. Right back off. Well, hey, that lasted long. That lasted a hell of a long time. See if it can chop around a little bit more today. The expectations are so high for NVIDIA, anything less than an absolutely perfect report could drive it down. I agree, Jeriel. I 100% agree there. That's the big thing with NVIDIA. They're expecting some pretty crazy things out of that stock, and they're going to have to come in pretty well. I will say, though, the stock has done very well on the past couple reports. You know, they had high expectations then, and they ended up beating them quite a bit, so I'm curious if they will do it again. Hopefully they can, but I don't know. I'm definitely starting to second guess it a little bit. Go over to QQQ. That's been a fun one the past couple days. I like that little range QQQ was forming yesterday at the end of the day, but of course this morning it sold down and out of there. It was actually holding up pretty well. Carlo thinks they might not beat expectations. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Carlo. I would not be surprised. It's a crazy one. I don't know if they could beat that either. Some of those expectations are like truly insane. Like you never see that with stocks like that. Only during very weird times, kind of like what we saw with like Zoom during COVID. You know, like that was one that was weird. That was a weird one. A lot of stocks did that during COVID, whether it was Zoom. Another one that was popular was Peloton. During those increases there, those revenues and everything were up so much. The earnings were nuts on some of those stocks. Zoom specifically was one of the crazier ones. Look at that earnings report on August 31st of 2020 here on Zoom. Like, just look at the way that thing jumped up there. Very weird. But this stuff happens, you know, there's different market dynamics that go on. Right now, the AI stocks, of course, have the upper hand and everything. During COVID, you know, it was the COVID stocks. Stuff like Zoom. Some of those vaccine companies. Yeah, exactly, Carlo. Yep, for conferences, board meetings, school stuff. They were getting big contracts probably all over the place. It's not as popular now, though. You know, and the thing that I don't... Like, I like Zoom, don't get me wrong, guys. But I'll be real with you. The Zoom, at least like whenever I have used it in the past, it's pretty clunky. It's pretty confusing. Most people out there have an easier time just getting on Discord, just doing a quick Discord call, you know? You can still share your screen on Discord. You can record your screen with like OBS or something. You know, it's not like you... I don't know. Zoom it's cool. It has some features to it that are neat. But then again, most of those features you can do on most other things. And then they have Teams now, and they came out with so many other things. I always just prefer a nice Discord call. You know, if you need to show your screen or anything. Sean said Teams is worse. Oh, yeah, I haven't ever used Teams, so I can't speak about that one too much, but look at the SPY just consolidating right here. Bouncing off that support this morning around 529.15. If it could fall under there today, that would be a good possible move, but there are good potential play under there on that move. Else Ford and General Motors, definitely not the best. What about the cruise lines? CCL, RCL. How about the airlines? DAL, nothing. Nothing fun there, huh? Tesla had a good move at open. You know what is nice again, though, is CCJ and UUUU. CCJ just broke above 54.60, starting to really get back up there. It's at new all-time highs. Let's go, CCJ. How much is it going to keep going, you know? That's the question. Looking hot, though. Hey, Sean just talked about... Sean, that's so funny you put that there. I look over at the chat, I'm like, damn, Sean read my mind. Or I read Sean's mind, one or the other. You used Zoom in 2014, Carlo? Sheesh, I'd never even heard of it back then. Can you look into Hood on the book map? Sure, I'll pull it up. I got so much on the book map here. I'm gonna have to close a couple of these. You have too many open, it'll slow down your computer. And Jeriel says, I hate Microsoft Teams. Oh, almost every contractor they use has Teams for their management. That sucks. Or for their meetings. Oh, that does suck, Jeriel. I wish it was better. I didn't realize it was so bad. Yeah, I really prefer Discord, but Zoom's not terrible. My Australian friends use it. Nice. Yeah, hey, here we go, though, with Hood. Looks like 22. There's a pretty solid resistance there. That's 91,000 shares stacked up. 2150 has quite a bit around it as well on Hood, which is Robin Hood, if anyone's wondering. I'm sure most of you know it, though. Hasn't been the best open out there, I'd say, so far. Not my favorite movement coming through. Yeah, it didn't last long with Zoom. Can you check AMD's book map for sure? AMD's not going to be bad. Let's see it on here. Let's look at the chart first, see what we can see. 163.50, pretty big. Yeah, 163 is a pretty big spot too. I would bet 163, 162.50-ish has quite a bit. Yeah, 163. Yeah, just like I thought, underneath there, anywhere between 163 and 162, there's quite a bit holding right there. Interesting. Not a ton either. It's not like these are the biggest levels ever, but fairly big. Looking at AMD stock today, it's definitely starting to sell down a little bit more. With how much is right here on the book map and how it looks right now, I almost wouldn't be surprised if it popped back up slightly to maybe retest resistance or something before selling off, but I'm really watching for that continued sell-off here. SPY's pretty nuts. Yeah. Hang on 1 second. Man, we've been doing a bunch of yard work around the house, and I keep finding ticks all over the place. Ticks are so annoying for anyone that ever goes outside. Yeah, my God. I had like 50 ticks on me last night. Did you guys talk about PANW? No, I have not talked about that one. Palo Alto. That was a pretty bad drop-off, though. I haven't mentioned it. I don't know too much about Palo Alto, besides that Nancy bought it. It hasn't been one that I generally look at too much here. Jaden said ticks. Yeah. Terrible ticks. Jane knows ticks. She goes outside. I'm sure there's a lot in Iowa. Jason goes, bro, that's dangerous. You must not live in the woods, Jason. They're all over the place, man. You can't get away. I hate to say it, I'm almost used to them now. That's how many there are. Tilray, bouncing around 190. Let's see, Walmart, WMT. Hey, Walmart actually looks pretty good. What's up with that today? Very nice. Coming back alive, breaking the highs of last week. And the highs from that earnings move. Nice. Holding at 65. And it's actually dipping back down here a little bit intraday, which might provide a little dip buy opportunity for people. The good news with this potential setup is you could just buy in right here with a stop. Pretty tight stop. Jason goes, and I've lived in the woods. Yeah, I mean, there's no getting around it if you have to go, you know, out in the trees. Like, let's say you were at my house right now, Jason, and I was like, hey, Jason, take this stick and put it in the woods. Or take this log and go drag it into the woods or something. And then you did it. You'd come back and you'd be like, Tom, I got like 10 ticks on my legs. It's really bad around this time of the year. Once it gets a little bit more in the summer, it'll cool down. I think they're all like waking up right now or something. But yeah, we spray ourselves with spray and stuff. Hopefully it helps. Man, the marijuana stocks just are kind of sucking. I'm just watching CGC closely because it's like coiling on the daily here. It's starting to dip back a little bit, and I'm watching this dip for a potential explosion to come out of here. Go back to Zoom. How are we doing? Hey, Zoom coming back a little bit. Look at that. I feel you guys there, though. Trust me, I don't like them. I don't like them. They freak me out. But what happened to Baba? Yeah, the China stocks got hit pretty hard this morning, and you know, I would say it's fairly common. You know, just a normal move down with China stocks. I didn't see any negative China news per se. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing anything too crazy. Yeah, I don't see anything too crazy here with China news, but I'm trying to find some. I would think that there was some type of news, but keep in mind that China stocks generally move together. So if one gaps down, they all start gapping down. I'm looking at JD on like the hourly, and there's actually a pretty good trend line that has been bounced on quite a bit with JD. And it's actually consolidating right on that trend. I'll be watching that for a potential breakdown over the next couple days if it doesn't hold here. Hopefully it holds the trend though, but I'm definitely worried about that breaking down. I was actually scouring the news earlier this morning too, but still not seeing anything. Not anything too crazy anyways. I would freak out so bad, Jason said. Yeah, it's very annoying. Sean says a good year for grass. Hey, I noticed that the golf courses have been pretty good around me right now. You know, there's been a lot of rain. They've been filling in really nicely. You know, well, besides when I go to the course and it's muddy, then it's kind of annoying, but I can't blame the course for that, can I? What happened to GameStop yesterday in VinFast? GME. Is VinFast VFS? Yeah. Thought so. Oh, gosh. Look at VinFast, guys. Oh, man. Mike had put this, wow, that is pretty crazy there. VinFast, VFS. That is a pretty crazy one. Yeah, I remember Mike, it was actually this exact day, Monday, August 28th, 2023. We made a nightly video, and Mike actually said right there to not hold, beware holding up there. It was so funny that ended up being the exact top. I haven't looked at this one in a while, but wow, that was a... It's been coming back a little bit with GME and AMC, I guess, but I didn't see anything too crazy with GME, but VFS looks pretty wild. I don't generally look at those stocks too much, Sam. They are pretty risky compared to other setups and stocks out there. That's pretty crazy. Thoughts on DKL for dividends, or DKI? DKL. Let me go to FinViz. I never looked at this stock either. DKL. The dividend is 10%. Be careful with that. Look at how this stock has moved over the past few years. It's been pretty slow and choppy. It is getting close to support, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if it just kept slowly chopping down. The thing I'll say is be careful trying to just play dividends. Dividends are something that I would say in the stock market, and you know, everybody's different. Like, you can have a dividend strategy and be fine, but in my personal opinion, I don't like really going after dividends. And the big reason for that is that I would rather the company reinvest those dividends back into the business, make the business better, and grow it even more. And we see this happen with companies like Apple and others. Now, they have started to introduce dividends, but like, for example, it's like 0.5%. You know, it's like there's not like a true like 2, 3, 4, 5% dividend, nothing like that. Be super careful with companies like DKL that offer higher dividends. They can be pretty rough. One in the past is Energy Transfer. This is another one that offers pretty crazy dividends, but look at how it's moved over the years. Like, if you would have been getting the dividends and just continuing to get them for 10 years, that, you know, that's awesome. But I mean, a lot of times these super high dividend stocks, they just don't have the best movement out there. I'm actually almost a believer that some of these companies that have whack stock movement, they'll try to offer higher dividends to just entice shareholders to hold and buy, you know. But I don't know, this stock doesn't look like the best. The good thing about it is that it's low. Like, if you're looking to dip buy it, that's not too bad, but just realize that if it does dip down and you're playing dividends, it's going to turn into like a 5 to 10 year play maybe. So just keep that in mind. You know, if you're okay with that, then I would say it's fine. I have about 300 in. I make $8 a month on dividends. Yeah. Just keep adding into it then, Sam. That's what I would say. Do you think SLV will triple top? CLPZ said. SLV, silver. Everybody's favorite commodity in the short term. This has been one hell of a run on silver, hasn't it? Usually you don't get a daily chart like this on silver. That is pretty insane. It's an oil stock. Ah, I see. It's weird. They don't move like the other oil stocks, like ZOM or Oxy or anything. They've been kind of stuck in the mud. Yeah, I would say stick to the true oil stocks then. ZOM and Oxy actually offer decent dividends. Good enough. Like, let's say the stock goes up 10% and then you make the 3% dividend too. Then you're looking better. Yeah, ZOM makes 3%. Go back to a 5-minute chart. Let's start looking at some intraday moves here. SPY's still bouncing off that support. Sitting here consolidating. It is on resistance now, 530/529.90. I talked about that at more of the beginning of the stream as good resistance coming up. But very choppy and slow on the SPY. Maybe it's waiting, actually, for... Yeah, it could actually be waiting for NVIDIA's earnings to come out. Do I think silver will triple top? I don't think so. I think silver has potential to actually get up, out, and through. Excuse me, guys. Had to grab a quick drink of water. I love TXRH for dividends. Texas Roadhouse. That's a fun one. I haven't looked at that stock in a long time. Wow, that is one hell of a stock. Yeah, TXRH has been amazing, guys. That has been one of the best stocks out there. What are their dividends? I'm going to look it up. Let's see. They pay like 1.4%, so nothing too crazy, but that's not bad. I like the stock movement better than anything else. You know, who needs dividends if you bought in at, like, let's say before COVID? Like, let's say you bought in just at like 60 bucks. Who needs dividends when over the course of 4 years you're making 184%? Let's do a calculator. 184% divided by 4. Oh, shit. Not times 4. Sorry. 184 divided by 4. I clicked the wrong button. 46% per year on average with Texas Roadhouse if you would have gotten in, like, the midpoint of 2019. That's pretty nuts. That is pretty nuts. And then you also got a 1% dividend. So there you go. That is one hell of a stock. Johnson says such a good growth stock. Yeah. I don't know if I call it a growth stock or not, but it definitely moves like one. So maybe it is. When I think of growth stocks, I think of like Zoom. Speaking of Zoom, they're coming all the way back. Look at that crap. Look at that. That's pretty insane. How much is Zoom going to end up in the green today? Or will they end up green? We'll see. Jane said logging off to not trade well. Kinda grumpy. I feel you there, Jane. Hey, have a good morning. Well, try to. But I'll talk to you later, Jane. See you later on in the Discord. Sam says, can you also explain wash sale rules, please? Sam, I'm actually not too familiar with all the rules associated with wash sales. But I have done it a couple of times myself. Yeah, okay. Yep. After looking it up and getting a little bit more info on it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so here's some of the rules here, like the key takeaways, I guess you'd say, as they put it here. So for anybody that doesn't know what a wash sale is, essentially it's buying a stock and selling it. It's buying like, let's say you buy a stock. Like, let's say you buy Exxon and Mobil, like an oil stock, okay? And you're holding that stock, and then you sell it. And like, let's say that you sell it right before the end of the year. Like, let's say you sell it like November. And then within the next 30 days, you like rebuy it back, right? And you're trying to like skirt taxes with it. Essentially a wash sale is preventing you from skirting the taxes on that. So a wash sale occurs when an investor purchases a security 30 days before or 30 days after selling an identical or similar security. The IRS instituted the wash sale to prevent taxpayers from using the practice to reduce their tax liability. Investors who sell security at a loss cannot claim it if they have purchased the same or similar security within 30 days before or after the sale. Because, you know, like, let's say you have Exxon and Mobil, and like, let's say that it's down a lot and you want to take a loss so that you can claim that loss on your taxes. It's essentially saying that, like, you can't rebuy a similar stock within 30 days before, 30 days after that sale. That would be considered the wash sale. So it's really just for taxes. I've actually tried to do this before, and that's how I learned what a wash sale was. So, but I'm not overly familiar with it. I've only dealt with it a couple of times before. Yeah, it's definitely about taxes for sure. Yeah, I feel you there, Sam. It really is, but they're trying to make sure that, because you can cheat the system a little bit with it, you know, like if you know what you're doing, you can cheat it a little bit. Like you could like for example, like you could, instead of having like the stock on like ExxonMobil, like you could sell that out for like a huge loss and then like buy calls on like Oxy, and then like Oxy explodes, and then, you know, they'll be like, well, hey, you know, you kind of just cheated. You could have just held Zom and not taken the L. And I get it, you know, I feel you. Trust me, I'm just trying to explain why they do it, but I don't think it's the best thing ever either. But there might be a lot of weird stuff that goes on at the end of the year with, like, imagine what might happen with a lot of stocks, you know, like if they allowed that. Imagine how much institutions would screw over regular investors because they would start selling out millions of shares out of nowhere, and then just knowing that it's going to go down at the end of the year, take that L, and then, you know, rebuy it back for the next year. And it'd be pretty weird out there. You know, you'd be having a lot of weird dynamics going on. So if you sell Zom December 15th for a 30K loss and then buy it back December 20th, you can no longer claim that loss. Exactly, Jeriel. Exactly. You hit it right on the head. Yep. That's exactly what it's for. And like I said, I actually tried to do this before, and I learned the hard way what a wash sale was. I should have known beforehand, but and would it be fined? I'm not sure that you get fined for doing a wash sale. You don't get fined. They just, I think that they categorize the trade, and then they'll just make you pay taxes on the one, you know, or like let's say you're trying to claim that loss. They just simply won't let you claim the loss, I don't think. But I'm not 100% sure. Is this considered a wash sale, and would it be fined? I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% sure on the rules, so. I bought Lucid at around 2.7, sold out 2.9 a day after. 2 days after that, I bought it again at 2.5 and sold out 3.1. Well, since you bought it at 2.7 and sold out at 2.9, you sold out for a win, Sam. So that win is going to go into, like, let's just say, like, your yearly P&L, you know? So since there's, like, no loss there, you can't have a wash sale because you didn't have a loss to claim, Sam, on that, in that specific circumstance. And you're trading so quickly that, yes, they would definitely consider that a wash sale because it was within 30 days. So if you were trading Lucid and, like, let's say you had a loss, yeah, it's only on losses. Like, let's say you're trading Lucid and you're trying, well, I'm not 100% sure if it's only on losses, but like let's say that I'm pretty sure it is, but let's say you're trading Lucid and let's say you have a loss on it and you take the L. You will have to wait 30 days after that to trade Lucid again if you want to potentially claim another loss on it, for example. But if you're like day trading and stuff, it's not going to be like too big of a deal, you know, because they're going to look at each trade and say, hey, you know, here you go. And it's generally not going to be like huge numbers that are going to like make or break an account, you know, like it would with like selling out a ton of shares before the end of the year or something. Yeah, no problem, Sam. And hey, Sam, are you in the trading floor, by the way? if you are and you attend the nightly or the weekly Q&As on Wednesday, that would actually be a really great question for Mike. Mike is a lot more well-versed in the legal aspects of trading and like the terms and all that stuff. Whereas I'm more into like charting and looking at charts and looking at intraday price action and stuff along those lines. Speaking of that, though, DraftKings starting to come back up. Let's go check in on the SPY. A lot of consolidation here on the SPY. That's quite a bit. Right around resistance as well. 529.95, 530. Yeah, Xbox, I misspoke. That'd be wild. Mike's head would explode, I think, if we did that. Between everything that goes on in the background. Hey, if you guys are just now joining up, vote up in the poll. We got 56 total votes. It's actually pretty close. If you think the SPY is going to continue to double top this week, let me know. Looking at it today, it's starting to come back, but it's still quite a bit of ways from that double top. Man, these Cybertrucks are so ugly, but I see them every other car. I'm shorting Tesla because I hate this car. Aw, Sam. I don't mind the Cybertruck too bad. I actually like it. I've seen it in person at a couple car shows. I've seen it driving on the road a couple times at a car show. And I don't mind the look as bad as a lot of people do, but... Savage, what's up? Are you talking about Alta? The Alta play? Savage, I think that's actually a fantastic play. I think that's an awesome play. If you have the money for it, it's actually pretty awesome. The chances of Alta closing under 320 within a month is pretty low. I would highly doubt that it closes under there within a month. Now, there is earnings coming up, which is going to play a big role in this on the direction. So, I don't know. Maybe it is a little bit freaky. But the earnings does make it a little scary, but... It's not, I would say out of all the ones Hunter's ever posted, this one's not my favorite, but it's definitely not bad. Besides the expensiveness part, but... Those earnings are really gonna make or break this one, but... Like Hunter said, you know, you don't really have to have any, like, big balls for this trade or anything. Well, I guess you do if you're looking at the money side and you think that's a lot. But at the end of the day, he's comfortable owning it at 320 a share. So, like, even if the play loses, he still wins because he'll be totally A-okay owning at 320. Hey, Zoom, coming back. Let's see. Someone's looking for a book map on the Zoom. Zoomy Zoom. Hey, Christian, are you in here this morning? If you are, and you're listening or something in the background, let us know how your Zoom play turned out. I'm curious. Did you keep holding, or did you end up selling it in the morning or something? I'll be curious to know. Ha. Okay, I don't miss owning it at 30, Savage said. That's exactly why I went with the Palantir CSP trade for 2026 instead of ARM. That's awesome. I feel you there, Savage. Sean's, or Xbox only seen one Cybertruck. Sean said, my Walgreens getting smacked, WBA. Damn, yeah. Walgreens is getting smacked, isn't it? Walgreens isn't my favorite stock out there. I don't know what's up with them, but they have decent runs every now and again, but they haven't been the best. CVS either, really. Both kind of bad. I don't mind owning it at 30. I wouldn't either. Let's see, Palantir. Or ARM, was it? Were you talking about Palantir at 30 or ARM? JD pulled back like you mentioned in the nightly recap video, hoping for another run up. Yeah, JD might keep pulling back for a couple days too. You know, don't expect it to just rip back right away, but... Why is my trend line moved? What the hell? Why does that happen sometimes? See, now that I switch back, it lines up. Like, what the hell? I won't ever understand that, why that happens on charts. But I sold some puts on WBA. Now I'm in the wheel for eternity. Hey, Christian said SMCI is pushing. What's up, Christian? Did you end up holding the Zoom play? I'm curious. But yeah, SMCI is really pushing back. You're right. Great movement. Great movement there. How's Nvidia? Hey, they're trying. AMD looks pretty good. I like this little shelf that it's made here. Right around 164. Hopefully we can see it get back at least 165 or higher. Especially if these chip stocks start running. Park City's been watching for a couple weeks now. Hey, let's go. The eternal wheel. Sometimes it's stuck. It sucks getting stuck in the eternal wheel, but all right, bring up the watch list and the SM bot here. I want to see what's going on. There's like really not anything over 1% on my watch list today. That's a weird day. Weird day out there. Let's see, Lowe's, LOW. They're selling off pretty hard. They had earnings, I believe. Yeah. They were doing okay into open, but at open, they started falling. It's like the opposite of Zoom, which Zoom started doing good after open. Let's see SMCI again. Not bad. Only 0.86% though. That's weird. Their average percent rise is 4%. That's where I'm getting at, where these moves are just weird today. CCJ was fire early on, but I think they slowed up. Yep. Definitely did. All right, SM bot, show us the way. ARM calls on the bot. Those chip stocks like SMCI and ARM are hot right now. Microsoft calls on the bot too. Pretty beautiful out of Microsoft today, actually. Looking at the daily, they're about to make new all-time highs. Who would have thought? Wow. Beautiful by them. That's awesome. Mara puts on the bot. I don't know if I want to go with that one right now. I like ARM and Microsoft way better. ARM's like right at resistance from the other day. But it would be solid to see a push through there. Randy lost 100 on low. Damn, Randy, you were playing the earnings? Or did you play the move after? Savage said, what is the typical stop loss for naked options? What is your recommendation? I am a 25% TP, 30% SL type of dude. Yeah, you know, 25% TP. That's not bad, but you're going to want your stop to be less than the TP, in my opinion. That's how I would put it. Because then that way your risk reward is like 1-to-1 or higher. That's personally what I would look at. So I would look at like maybe like a 25% SL, 30% TP. But the big thing for me, Savage, is I don't really like to have a typical stop loss. You know, I know a lot of people out there do, and that's awesome. You know, like if you want to have 20 or 25% or 30% every time, that's fine. Just make sure that you work that into your strategy. Personally, each one's different for me because to me, no two trades are the same. And I think going with a typical one all the time just isn't the correct way to go about trading. Whereas like, let's say I'm trading QQQ, right? And I'm looking for like a nice breakout right here. This trade might be a little bit different than like if I were to set up like a momentum style trade. Because on this trade, you know, I would be buying in here. I'd be having to wait for the breakout. So like, let's say I might have to look at that and say, okay, I might need to adjust my stop a little bit more further out. So when you do adjust that stop further out, you simply then put less money into the trade so that you don't risk too much. So like, let's say I'm doing just hypothetically $1,000 in here, into like a normal trade, let's say. On this one, I might want to go down to like, let's say $800 and then adjust my stop from maybe 25% to like 40%, you know, or something like that. It just depends on the range or whatever you're looking at, but you might need to in certain circumstances. Now, I'm not saying to do that all the time, but you know, there's going to be different opportunities. Now, like, let's say you're doing SMCI and you see it popping off right now and you're getting into a quick momentum play. You know, you buy in here, you know, you're maybe targeting like what, like 920-ish. I don't like to have a set stop. What I like to do is like watch the chart, watch for, are we seeing more pullback than we've been seeing, you know, and then I'll just get out when I see that. The stop might be 20, 30, somewhere between there usually, but sometimes it's way less. Sometimes, you know, you could notice like a good jump on price action or a good breakdown or something. Like right now, like let's say you're trading SMCI breakout and you entered like right, let's say like right here. It was a bad entry, let's say. And you're like, okay, I want to play the breakout. You know, you might be just watching this support simply. Like if 910 gives out, then you're out. You know, you just sell the option at whatever it is. And you would know that it's not more than 30%. Like you should always have like a hard number in your head that it shouldn't go past, but I don't always like having a super set one. I let the chart dictate it for me usually. I have to do it that way because of work. I can't move stop losses or watch the screen all the time. I feel that, Savage. Yeah, that makes sense then. That does make sense as of why you can't. It makes a lot of sense. But if you are sticking with a set one, then I I would try to stay in trades then that, you know, you might not see too much variance in, or not too much pullback or etc. Try to maybe catch more momentum over catching like something where like you might have to hold it for an hour before it finally goes up or something. Yeah, no problem though, Savage. Appreciate the questions. It's always cool to talk about those a little bit more. Zoom is starting to zoom again. Beautiful runs there. Beautiful. Hey, Harris, appreciate you there. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. That's awesome. You guys have been so awesome lately. DJ says Zoom. Yeah, for real. Swan equals sleep well at night. Yeah, CSPs really are king, Savage. They are king. Up 61% on SPY calls. The morning is young. Should I pull out or stick with my regular strategy to hold and read charts? Sam said. Should I pull out or stick with my regular strategy to hold and read charts? It looks like it's on quite the ripper today. I mean, I would say this, like if it starts to pull back under, like I think holding for now is fine. But if you start to see a pullback under 530.33 or like 530.30, I would exit. You're up 61%, so if it pulls back like 20 cents, hopefully you'd still be up like 50% or something, you know, or something close. Hard to say exactly, but I think holding here is fine for now. We'll see if it ends up playing out well or not. Looks like it's a pretty big red candle, but you know, those come in from time to time on these runs. KTOS is also trying to make some move. Kratos. It really is. What is up with this stock? This is one of the most wild stocks that I never expected to be this wild. Kratos. Some of these big money plays are awesome, guys. I know that the big money play yesterday on JD isn't the best right off the bat, but whenever you zoom out, you know, a pullback like what happened today is totally normal for stocks like this to have. But I know a lot of people have bought into that one and are kind of pissed that it fell, and, you know, I feel you. Just realize that the move with these China stocks, that's a pretty big move that it's had lately. This is a shorter term play as well, which does make it a little bit more rough, but I really like, personally, like a lot of those plays on FXI and BABA that have like a lot longer of dates to them. If you would have been buying into those big money plays, those are fire. You never want to over leverage on China stocks either. Like if you already have a lot of China stock calls and you've been doing great and you're still holding them, I don't think that there's any reason to have too many of them. So keep that in mind. Hey, Savage is out. Nice, Savage. Very nice, very nice. When that SPY, it's trying to hold for Sam here. Right around this 530.33 area. See, now the big thing is if 530.33 and like this support starts to give out, it would be a lot different than what we've been seeing. Like, look at how SPY pushed up earlier. Chopped around and then, bam, exploded up through. But it did chop for a little bit before going through, and it might be doing the same thing here. You know, who knows how long it's going to chop for before going through, but that's a pretty big support I would say the price action hasn't totally changed until this support starts to truly give out. That would kind of be like if this happened, you know, here at this one. It would just showed a pretty big change. Looks like it might actually do that too. We'll see. It's very close to QQQ. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, QQQ is definitely pulling back here pretty hard. Makes me worried about SPY now. Yep, I would say that's a pretty solid direction change there. It can still go up, but that's one of the steeper pullbacks that we've seen of the day. Just watch that wick closely. Make it close down here. Don't let it just have like a wick and come right back up. You know, make like one more candle close if you're gonna sell it. Yeah, see, that's what I was worried of. Look at that wick. Is that really gonna be a wick right before we run back? It might be. Yeah, whenever you see good supports like that, you want to see those wicks close under there. If there's not a good close under that support, then that's like a, you know, it's not the best sign for bears there. So if you are holding, you want to hold up. But hopefully this helps you out, Sam. You know, just like the thinking as of like how to exit some of these. CRSR, ripping, Dax said. Corsair. It's been a long time since I've looked at Corsair. Poor stock's been rough. It is starting to come back pretty well, though. That's a good sign. Palantir still brutal. Gotta pull up the SM body bot for us again. Square puts. Man, Square. This poor stock. It just cannot get going. Tim said the quality of Corsair keyboards fell hard. Oof. Yeah, I only use Logi keyboards and stuff, personally. Good old Logitech. They've been actually coming up really good off that recent dip they had. I love Logitech. I liked Razer keyboards too, but I'll be real with you guys. Like, I use my computer all day, literally all day long, nonstop. And I've had multiple Razer keyboard switches go out over the years with different brands and stuff. It's a pain. My Logitechs have never had any switches go out though. Although Logitech does make special switches sometimes, depending on which keyboard you get. Yeah, Tim, that's what I'm using. I'm using wireless, a nice keyboard that was like $200 or something, and like a mouse that was pretty expensive. I need a new one though, a new mouse at least. It's not that it doesn't work, it's just really old. It's called a G900. It's pretty cool. Let's see it. Logitech G900. Here it is. Ha! It only costs $80 now. That's funny. I swear this dumb thing was like 130 or 40 or something like that 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Huh. I love it though. Out of curiosity, do you invest in things besides stocks like real estate or possibly high-value metals? Well, I do invest in metals, but keep in mind, a lot of my metals investment aren't like physical metal, like if that's what you're thinking. It's, you know, like GLD, SLV, Might get some futures every once in a while. Real estate, though, is something that I'm definitely getting into a little bit more, Sam, over the years. You know, that's definitely a plan, a long-term plan with real estate there, for sure. Right now, it's been a little bit tough, you know, with the rates being so high and everything. I haven't really found that it's maybe the best time or necessarily worth it right now. But that is in the plans for the longer term. But I do love investing in real estate. I would say it's one of the smarter ways to go. I still think that stocks are better over the longer term. I think they're much better. But you have that safety with the real estate. So plus, you get a good real estate portfolio going. You know, you can use that as leverage in situations and stuff. So, it's still a very lucrative game as too. So, I'm not trying to say it's worse than stocks, but I have a lot of friends that they buy like duplexes and stuff like that, and that's awesome. You know, I'm glad that they do that and everything. And the thing is, though, they don't make a ton from it. You know, they're honest with me, and you know, it's not the easiest thing to fill up with people all the time. And you know, let's say you gotta fix one thing with the house, that's 3 months of profit gone. Now things do rise in value, you know, like the property values, of course. And that's awesome, you know. It just takes a while to start to realize those better gains, you know. But I do think it's smart. It's still a federal land. Yeah. I'm working on a couple seller financing deals. That way you can avoid banks and high interest rates. Huh. That's interesting. Wow, that's interesting, Ryan. Huh. I didn't know that people did all that. I mean, I knew there were weird ways to work the loans, but I didn't know that people did that. Palantir's going crazy. $21.10. I'm actually looking to invest in properties at the Lake of the Ozarks, if you guys know what that is. Lake of the Ozarks. It's just a hard place to get started in. You can't really find like a lakeside property for like under like 500 grand or something. But they're looking to open up a lot of cool things down there, like casinos and like water parks and crap. And that's going to be pretty awesome whenever the casino gets done down there. I think that's going to be turn into a pretty damn big spot. Been there, beautiful place. Yeah, it is very beautiful there. Very beautiful. You know what's not beautiful is this little pullback on SPY. There you go, though, Sam. That's kind of where you know, selling out. Airbnb or rentals down there, Ryan said. Both. Both. My sister's husband actually does it down there already. They're like 10 years older than me, but they just bought like a $1 million+ property down there, and they rent it out almost every weekend. It gets rented out. It's nuts. It's pretty crazy. And they're looking to actually do it again. They're buying another one to kind of add to the port down there, so to say. Yeah, Catrev, it's real. It is real. Didn't work out for the guy in the show Ozarks. Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty nice down there, though, I'll say. Like, during the summer and everything, it's very fun. During the winter, it's a pain in the ass, though. Pain in the ass. You know, you got to worry about the boats getting messed up with the winter. You got to make sure they're out of the water enough. You got to make sure that if the snow gets on the top of your dock, you can get it off. Or else the dock will sink into the water from all the weight from the snow. Or else then your boat goes bye-bye. And then, you know, you got to pay $5 to $10 grand to keep your dock upkept every 5 to 10 years. You know, scorpions are down there too. I don't know if you guys have been there and seen scorpions, but they got scorpions down there even. It's like, oh man, now they got scorpions and... Yeah, it should be awesome, Ryan. I know my sister and her husband, they actually profit from that house that they have. So I think that they said that the monthly payments are like 12 grand a month or something. And they make more than 12 grand a month on that house somehow. I don't know how they do it, but... Sean says, F that, I'd pull the boat out of the water for the winter. Yeah, most people keep them on their docks, Sean, from what I've seen. But I feel you. I feel you there. A lot of these fancy people get these dock warmers, so then if the snow hits their roof, it like melts off. But Party Cove's a good time. I've never been to the Party Cove, actually. Or I have only once, but I was too young to know what was going on. My mom always said that, she always said that the girls were topless down there. And she also said that the people shit in the water there, too. All the drunk people shit in the water. Which is kind of gross. Sean goes, fancy people? Yeah. Trust me, Sean, like, whenever you're on the lake there and you're driving by, you can tell the fancy people from the normal people down there. Based on the dock. That's for sure. You know, you see all these normal docks. Then out of nowhere, you got the guy with the concrete dock with the, with, like, the water-powered slide on it and the 50-foot-long ocean vessel. You know, you got your normal millionaire and then you got your fuck you guy, you know. There's a nude cruise sailing from Miami to the Caribbean next year in February. I know Manny signed up. Oh no. Demir needs a recap. He fell asleep. Yeah, Demir, so quick recap on the day. The chip stocks have done pretty well. SMCI, AMD, NVIDIA. You know, they've been coming back pretty well. SMCI and ARM have been some of the better movers of the day that I've seen. I haven't seen many stocks have the consistency of these two today. Zoom's been coming back alive following their earnings, up to 65.20 now. People are loving that play. If you check the Discord and you're in the premium, you know, make sure you check out Trading Stream. SurgeBot may or may not have hit on Zoom earlier, and it was a fire play. Zoom pushing broke 65. Hell yeah, Christian. It is going off. That is one hell of a post-earnings move. Dipped down, ran all the way back up, dipped all the way back down. Now it's back. This is like the definition of like a heartbeat monitor type of move here on the stock. But awesome. We'll take it. 65.20 coming back. That swing play coming back alive as well. Looking good, looking good. We deal with a lot in Florida, but thank God freezing isn't one of them. We have a lot of fancy people. Yeah, I'm sure, Jeriel, I'm sure. I've seen a lot of crazy things in Florida with a lot of crazy boats and stuff like that. And sometimes if you go to like a good yacht club or something like that in Florida, man, you see some pretty insane vessels out there. A lot of fancy people, yeah. They would definitely have the dock warmers going, that's for sure, Jeriel. $185 resistance, okay. Boeing trying to come back alive a little bit here, nothing crazy. Looking at Citigroup. The bank ran up, pulling back a little bit, but not too bad. Hey, what's the quote? Thoughts on Palantir for the long term, Randy said. I actually like Palantir for the long term quite a bit. I love how they're getting into contracts, like with the government and everything like that. Looking at Palantir overall, in the short term, I do like support here around 20 to 21. There is a good trend line that I would think it could test, maybe around like 19 to 20. But overall, it did pop up quite a bit this year. I'm just worried on this pullback how much it's going to keep pulling back. But I'm a big enough fan of Palantir that I would say, like, right here at this price, if you're a fan of them, it's okay to dollar cost average here. Like, let's say you're wanting to get, like, let's say 1,000 shares. Maybe get like 200 shares here and then hold it. If it falls a little bit, grab a couple hundred more and a couple hundred more and a couple hundred more. Just grab like maybe, gosh, the yawn came in. Maybe grab like, 200 shares every month or something. Might not be a bad way to go. Just dollar cost average over time. I like the company enough for that. DJ, you see an article of passenger who died on a plane from turbulence? It has nothing to do with Boeing, but I feel that. Tamir said Tom didn't sleep enough. That's the weirdest thing. Last night, I actually went to bed early. Let's say at like 11 p.m. Fairly early for me. And I, get up at like 7:30, somewhere like that. And I don't know what it is today, but I feel like I didn't even sleep. I do feel really tired today. I don't get it. I don't get it. Definitely doesn't make me happy, that's for sure. Hey, that's awesome, Randy. Thanks for the kind words. I appreciate that. Let's go, Randy. That's awesome. And hey, guys, we're going to close the poll here in about 10 minutes. Okay, if you have not voted yet, get your votes in. It is tied 50-50 right now. It's 66% or 66 votes. If you haven't gotten it in yet, get it in. Will SPY break the all-time high this week? That's the question. It's been powering, getting closer today. Xbox said maybe you overslept. Maybe. I have had that happen in the past. It used to happen to me a lot when I was like 13 or 14 years old. In the summertime, I would stay up till like 4 or 5 or 6 in the morning playing Call of Duty with friends, and then I'd wake up at 3 p.m. and then I'd go play baseball, and then I'd come back home and do it again. Every day. It always messed my stepdad up. He'd come home from work at 3 p.m. from his sheet metal job. He'd come home at like 2:30 or 3. And I'd be still asleep. He'd be like, get up. Same here, only without the baseball, Xbox said. It sucked because all my friends were like, Tom, don't go to baseball. Stay with us. And I'm like, I'm going to baseball. And then I'd come back and they'd have a full lobby. And I'd be like, you guys don't love me. I'd be like, vote one of you guys out. QQQ's right in the chop zone. Consolidating pretty hard right here. All right, SMCI. What are we looking like here? We got 69 votes. Elon Musk's favorite number out there. That's a lot of votes for a poll here on the stream. One of the best ones ever. So I appreciate you guys voting it up. That's pretty badass. It's almost 50-50. That's kind of cool. If it closes at 50-50, that would be very rare. Zoom starting to pull back a little bit. Kind of expected here. It is right at resistance. Netflix calls on the SM bot. Whoa. Netflix has been pretty brutal lately, hasn't it? Ah, no, it came back. It was brutal, but it came all the way back. Yesterday and today have been awesome for Netflix, though. QCOM calls on the SM bot. The chip stock staying alive. Qualcomm, ARM, SMCI, all enjoying great movement this morning. Demir said, Tom, when there's a double top, a pullback is usually expected. A lot of people look for one there, Demir. But just because people are looking for one doesn't mean that it's expected. I would say, like, it's hard to define, like, a true double top. You know, because, like, I would say, like, this on the chart is a pretty good double top. I would expect a little bit of chop, at least, to come out of it. You know, but a lot of people out there might say, like, that, like, if we go intraday yesterday around the end of the day, they might count this as a double top, you know? So I would say that they're both double tops in their own... Oh, no, actually, hang on. That was... Yeah, I went to the wrong time. Here we go. Some people might even count this as, like, a double top, which, I don't know, you know, it's very close. But I would say the more serious double tops, like whenever you look at like a daily chart or like you zoom out on like a longer term chart, they usually end up holding up better. But like here, I'll show you another recent double top with SPY. Like here's another double top that happened recently, which was right around the 522.65 mark. Right around there. Last week, it pretty much double topped, and then we got that good breakout coming just literally a day later after a little bit of chop. So, like, would you say that that counts as, like, a pullback or chop? I don't know. I would say that's more of just a clear breakout right through that double top. We might see that happen here. So I would say it's not always expected for a pullback. Like, if you went and you looked at stats on a double top, it would probably be pretty skewed or pretty weird looking on the chart or on the stats, I guess, so to say. I think it would look pretty weird. I think a lot of people would actually be surprised as well. No problem, Demir. I definitely like watching the double tops for rejections. To me, the best way to go with the double top isn't necessarily to play the move after the double top. Honestly, I think the best way to look at double tops is to try to catch the top in real time. So, like, let's say we saw this first top over here, and we saw SPY reject really hard. Well, like, you might have wanted the front run puts off of that top there and catch that intraday move off of that resistance. That's what I would prefer to do with the double top. Of course, you can now wait for the breakout, but I think that that's the best way to go, is to try to catch that. It's very hard for traders, though, to see this and look back and then wait patiently for it to touch to enter. That's the problem. It's hard to be patient. Hell bombs for me. For democracy. Demure, for democracy. All right, we're going to close the poll at 70 total votes. It's almost 50%. That is a pretty insane mix, though. Are we going to do another gift competition in the Q&A tonight? Tomorrow night, Demir. Tomorrow is the Q&A. Today is only Tuesday. We're not quite to hump day, Demir. I know you're excited, but we're not quite there yet. Let's go, Chewy. Sean said, good dog. Let's see it. Hey. Chewy coming up off this low. There we go, Chewy. I am glad to see that. Let's go, Chewy. Let's see, zoomy zoom. Pulling back a little bit. Not too bad. That's awesome, though, guys. Gift challenge accepted. Yeah. Gift challenge. I'll throw my winner out there in the chat. I'll decide the winner there. That'll be a good one. Or should I say GIF? Oh. GIF. It's funny, I started looking it up and everything said to call it GIF that I saw. But just because something technically should be said that way doesn't mean that society accepts it that way. There's a couple things like that people like to say wrong on purpose. And I don't mind it. You know, I don't mind people saying it wrong on purpose either. I think it actually adds some fun into speech and into grammar, I guess we could say, right? I'm calling it GIF peanut butter. Yeah, there you go, Sean. Yeah, Demir said, okay, grammar nerd. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not like somebody that's a big grammar nerd like that, but like Mike though, Mike is kind of like a grammar nerd though. So like that, you know, that's why he says GIF, you know. Mike always has to make sure it's right. QQQ looking at resistance, 454.80. Come on, QQQ, you gonna break or you just gonna consolidate here? There we go, Spy. Just rebroke the high of the day. Let's go. 530.60. Might actually hit 530.80 today. That'd be sick. I think his grammar has to be paramount. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, Demir. How important is the FOMC meeting on Wednesday? Let's see. Some people like it perfect, you know, and some people like it normal, you know? Just depends. We got Wednesday FOMC minutes, 2 p.m. That's going to be pretty big. I don't think it's going to affect things too much, but I think that we'll see definitely some volatility because there's a lot of bullshit with those rate cuts. Of course, they'll probably hint at something. I'm sure you'll hear something. They talked about rate cuts sooner or rate cuts later. I bet we'll hear something in that way. I think more importantly, Nvidia tomorrow night will have more of an impact, but we'll see. They're both going to come out towards the end of the day, at least, so that's good. 2 p.m. Eastern on the minutes, and then, of course, Nvidia right around market close. All right, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and call the stream here. I appreciate everybody joining up, though. It's been a pretty fun morning. Seen a lot of crazy moves out there. Like the SPY coming back isn't too bad. We had the good move with Zoom and a couple other stocks. So let's go. You know, it's been a pretty fun day out there in the market. I really appreciate everybody. Thank you, of course, to Jay Harris for donating. Of course, also thanks to Finn. Appreciate you as well. Other than that, though, I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Of course, thank you, everybody out there and the lurkers. You guys are badass. This would not be the community that it is without you. So, thank you, guys. I will be live tomorrow morning, of course. That'll be a good one. Tomorrow night. You know, of course, watch the nightly videos tonight and tomorrow for some of these earnings and more plays for the next day. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the Discord today. Let's go. That Zoom play was pretty fire. I better see some good hype with Zoom. Better see some good hype. Everybody is, you know, you get a couple bad plays in a row and everyone's heads explode. So I want to see some positivity today. Let's go, guys. See you later.